Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, coming up from America on the Roads Talk Show.
All right.
Jack Nerad and Knack Toy Award winners. That's North American Car and Truck of the Year Award. Big deal. Later in Jeff's Car Culture, 5 of the longest drivable tunnels. Is it only in the United States?
Yeah, there's tunnels all over the world, but we've talked about long roads. We talked about Route 66. We talked about bridges. Now it's time to go underground.
I couldn't agree more. On a day like today, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars over there in Neaterville, Texas.
Hello, Neaterville.
We always need more Jeff Zekin sitting next to me. Chief Engineer David Ainsley just got out of the shower, from what I'm told. That's the David cam that we've been kind of monitoring, but not really. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday morning. And joining us now from the left coast, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the man of the hour, Jack Nerad. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Jack.
Good morning. The man of the early hour. At least early hour for me, less so for you.
Yes, it is. 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
Just getting back from
and
clubbing.
As always, we always appreciate you joining us out there because we know there's a 2-hour time difference. There's lots of other differences too, but we won't go into those.
Right. I can't take credit or blame for those, I don't think.
No, you cannot, and we wouldn't place them on you anyway. So, first of all, before we get into all of this, would you explain to everybody what is Knack Toy, how it came about, and the awards process?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. North American Car of the Year started, I think, about 35 years ago. I was not involved in it at its inception. But the goal was to bring a bunch of independent journalists together to decide on first Car of the Year. Then it was expanded to Truck of the Year. And now there's Utility of the Year, too, which is arguably the most important of the 3 awards, depending on how you look at it. But I had been editor of Motor Trend and ran the Motor Trend Car of the Year awards back in the day. So, it was a process that was fairly clear to me, but I think the idea of having a bunch of independent journalists from different outlets is the big separator between North American Car of the Year and some of the others, including Motor Trend Car of the Year, which of course is one publication. So we have 50 jurors with probably 50 different ways of testing cars and evaluating vehicles, but I think that results in some really good results. Basically, in what we get in terms of naming the proper car, the proper utility, and the proper Truck of the Year as an important vehicle.
So do you guys all sit down together, or you do it over the internet, or do you share information? How does that work?
It's a lengthy procedure. You could say it's a year-long procedure. We're testing independently all the time. Of course, I test a car every week on my radio show, America on the Road, and I think most of the jurors are testing cars on that kind of frequent basis. We're going on automotive events. Then we first identify all the cars that are brand new, all the cars, trucks, and utilities that are essentially new for a particular model year. That's kind of our basic field from which we can choose the Car of the Year and the others. And then we winnow that down with a vote. We take a vote fairly early on. I think it takes place in either late August or September, where we bring it down to a more manageable number. Then we get together in October to drive these vehicles. Most of us get together for that outside Detroit and Ann Arbor. I'm typically there for 4 or 5 days. Most of our jurors are there for that period of time. Then there's another couple series of votes, one semifinalists, 2 semifinalists, 3 in each category. Those are announced typically at the Los Angeles Auto Show in late November. And then we have a final round of voting, and we name the car, truck, and utility of the year in mid-January at the Detroit Auto Show.
Now, Jack, you mentioned that these are through the manufacturers. There's a lot of people, companies that are building cars that are not well known as the Detroit 3. Are they included in this award?
Any vehicle that's available in the United States in any kind of reasonable number. I think if it were such an exotic car that was super expensive, it's not likely to qualify. And again, we cut down some of the vehicles. But for example, we had the Lucid Gravity as one of our utility vehicle finalists this year. That's a pretty exotic vehicle, actually, probably $100,000 or so. So, and from a very small manufacturer comparatively. So we're looking at everything out there that's available to the consumer.
Cool. So do we start now and drill down into this? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm
Jack-
sure Nick ready. Yeah, absolutely.
Jack he's always ready.
Yeah.
So let's start with the car finalists, shall we? You had 3 of them, and the finalists were the Dodge Charger. Now, are you talking about the new Dodge Charger?
We are. Yeah. These are all new cars. So
Okay.
they're brand new cars.
You
Yeah.
have a new design.
And the Honda Prelude
Mm-hmm.
and the Nissan Sentra. So
Absolutely
obviously, I assume that there's really no comparison really between the price of the vehicle.
Apples, oranges, and rutabagas, right? I mean,
Yeah.
very, very different kind of things there. And that's one of the challenges of naming the car of the year. But the way I look at it, and I think the way a lot of our jurors look at it, is number one, the vehicle has to be essentially the best in its class to really qualify as a car of the year. And so you look at that. And to me, that's where the Sentra, didn't really measure up to be car of the year, because as good as the new Sentra is, and it's very good, I don't think it's as good as or better than the Honda Civic or the Mazda 3 or the Toyota Corolla. I think those vehicles are the equal of the Sentra. Whereas I think for larger sedans, you're hard pressed to find something better than the Dodge Charger available as a 2-door, a 4-door, in all electric, or with a really interesting turbocharged 6-cylinder engine of immense horsepower. So that was my choice, and it was also the choice of the whole jury. That was the car of the year.
Right. So the Dodge Charger, and it was the 6-cylinder gasoline engine.
Well, it was all of the Dodge Chargers. So I think there were the proponents of the fact that you could get the electric or you could get the gasoline engine.
Did that play a part in it?
Yeah, that played a big part. I think it played a big part in it because there is, I think, at least an element of the jury that really likes electric cars. So the fact that you could get that as an electric vehicle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or what their political affiliations are.
There is that.
Hey.
But all I can think of is here we are in Texas, the maker of gasoline, the importer and driller of oil. I think that we're probably going to edge toward the gasoline vehicles here. Although I will say this, that there are some people here in Texas that are very passionate about their electrics. The problem, as you well know, here in Texas anyway, is charging. And, public charging is, at least here in Texas, or more specifically here in Houston, can be and is, for me personally, a real pain in the rump.
And look what's going on with the weather this week. Those people are going to probably suffer a little bit more than an ICE engine owner.
Yeah. All right. So let's
depend on the commercial chargers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even here in California, in the hotbed of electrics, public charging is an issue, and it's going to remain an issue. So,
truck finalists, and I find this very interesting. So you've got the Ford Maverick Lobo, which is, for some reason, they call it a compact pickup
Didn't
truck.
you have one of those?
I had one.
Yeah.
A Ram 1500 and a Ram 2500. Ooh. So you got 2 Rams on there. Granted, one is the heavy duty and one is the light duty pickup truck. Mm-hmm. And they're competing against the, I hate to say it, car-based, because it is and it isn't, Maverick.
Subcompact comes to
So, yeah, or compact. Yeah. I wouldn't call it a subcompact. But give us your take on all that.
Well, truck is a bit of a challenge in terms of finding all new vehicles, right? Because trucks don't turn over. Number one, there aren't as many trucks as there are cars and sport utilities. And number two, they don't change that much from year to year to year. What the big changes were the addition of the heavy duty Ram this year. Very good vehicle. Again, is it the best heavy duty vehicle? I'm not sure about that. So that was kind of one of the one of my takes on what I named, what I voted for most strongly. The Ram 1500 was essentially the Ram of before that had gotten rid of the V8 engine, and then the V8 engine came back. So that was the rationale for including the Ram 1500. I mean, it's a great vehicle. I think all of us who drive pickup trucks, and certainly I drive a lot of them, think the Ram 1500 as a personal use vehicle is a terrific vehicle, and especially with the Hemi V8 engine. Although that same 6-cylinder engine that I was talking about with the Charger is also available in the Ram, so that's cool too.
How is it
part
in
of the
price
problem
comparison, Jack? Is the price comparison between the V8 Ram 1500 and the 6-cylinder 1500?
How much did that figure into?
Did it play a part?
It would play some part, yeah. I think it would play some part. Certainly value plays a part in all of this. We're trying to find the best values out there.
Yes. So you keep a balance.
Yeah, exactly. And what I found was with the Maverick Lobo, which is a different version of the Maverick, it doesn't even really have a completely new powertrain. It has some differences in the all-wheel drive system and that kind of thing. But it seemed like a new take on a very popular segment. And it struck me as the newest of those, and probably certainly the best of the compact pickup trucks right now. Arguably the Hyundai Santa Cruz is right there with it in turbo form, but there aren't a lot of choices there. But that was the choice of the jury. It was also my choice.
And the utility finalists and winner. Oh my God! What did you have? About 1,000 of them that you had to judge?
Yeah, I mean, because essentially the de facto car, quote unquote car, or vehicle that people have is a sport utility. There are more sport utilities, new sport utilities than anything. And I think even after we'd winnowed down the field a little bit, I think we went down to something like 13 was the number that we had on hand in Ann Arbor to drive. So that was a lot of vehicles, obviously. I mentioned the Lucid Gravity. The Hyundai Palisade was the winner. And again, I think the Hyundai Palisade is available now with a hybrid. It's a mid-size. It is in the middle of being a useful family vehicle. The Nissan Leaf was the other vehicle. It's arguably not even an SUV. I think it's kind of, Nissan portrays it as an SUV, but it's an all-electric, very small vehicle, kind of SUV shaped. So to me, that was a non-starter in the segment. For others, it was a big deal. There are 50 of us, 50 opinions. I think the Palisade is, the best value out there. It's certainly, arguably, one of the best values, if not the best value in the midsize SUV segment, which is a big, important segment. And it added important things like a hybrid powertrain.
Well, it's also the largest seller of those.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and to me, that would say something about it. It obviously resonates with buyers of SUVs of that size, and that means something to me. Whether it's the look of the thing or the actual utility of it, the interior, the engine, all of that, I assume all of those factors and more would go into your judgments.
Well, and sales kind of indicates significance, right? Significance in the marketplace is a really important thing to me. What I'm wary about is just picking the most fun to drive vehicle in each of these three segments and letting it go at that. I mean, that's not the way I look at it. I think it's not the way most of the jurors look at it, but I think maybe there are some jurors who
that would be easy to do.
Yeah, right.
So, Jack, how do you become a judge in NACTOY?
You have to be nominated by other judges. We keep the jury pool to 50, which is a manageable number. It helps the manufacturers, frankly, allow us to drive vehicles, get vehicles to us, that kind of thing. We don't want to go larger than 50. When somebody resigns, retires, changes jobs that precludes them from being a part of it, and nobody can take money from a car company or be working for a car company or be working for an agency of a car company to be on the jury. Again,
It sounds to me like it's the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of appointed for life. There's more than 9 of us, and we don't have to wear robes, but otherwise it's similar.
Whose palm do I have to grace with? You know what?
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting, and I did not know about once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that you probably don't have too many influencers on your jury.
Right. I mean, once you're in, as long as you maintain, as long as you're still in the business of testing vehicles regularly for, major outlets.
Yeah.
As long as you have some influence from that point of view.
Because that's a big part of it, because you don't get a chance to, like you say, you meet for 5 days to do the finals. And if you're not participating all year long, then it makes it a little more difficult for you to contribute.
Absolutely right. I mean, this is a year-long process, and you have to be plugged into the industry and plugged into testing cars on a regular basis to qualify to be a juror.
So, are there any other organizations out there like NACTOY? I mean, is JD Powers considered one of those, or are there any others? Can we start one?
I would say there is the World Car of the Year. There is the European Car of the Year organization. I think there's a Japan Car of the Year. North American Car of the Year was really patterned after European Car of the Year, which again identified X number of journalists from the various countries in typically in Western Europe, and they have a jury that decides on the European Car of the Year.
And do they kind of adhere to your kind of rules where there's a limited number of journalists, but it's not too small that it skews the vote in one way or the other?
I think there's a limited number. I'm not certain exactly how they determine who's in the jury and how they maintain the numbers and what those numbers are. So it's hard to say exactly. I mean, certainly. I think if you looked at the way the voting goes, I mean, because there's 50 of us, it would be hard for one juror to,
sway the vote.
Sway the vote very much.
Well,
I think it's not a consensus, but it is, I think, at least a strong plurality, if not majority, of the votes go to the winners.
Oranges, apples, and rutabagas. He mentioned
the rutabagas, yes.
Right. Throw that in for sure.
Well, I'm sure they're all sold out at the local grocery store here this week because of our frost and
there was
storm
a run
that we've
on
got.
toilet paper and rutabagas.
Toilet paper and rutabagas.
That's probably all it. Yeah.
That's all it really needs, right?
Right.
Jack, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We thank you so much for getting up this morning and joining us. You look great, and I hope
A little sleepy.
A little sleepy.
Yeah, a little sleepy. Yep, I'm a little sleepy, but I'm going to be driving out to the desert, so wish me luck.
All right. Well, best of luck. Take some lotion with you.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Sunscreen.
Always great to talk to you guys. I look forward to doing it again real soon.
Thank you so
Appreciate it,
much, Jack Nerad.
Thanks.
Yes, and he is the man about town. We talk to him usually about once a month or so, get his take on things, and so Car and Truck of the Year award. All
Going
right.
out to the desert.
Yep.
Take a rope and
Just
shovel.
ahead, Jeff's car culture. Are you claustrophobic? How about 5 of the longest drivable tunnels? Ooh. Plus, Mars has driving destinations. Big 5 car museums in the U.S. After this break on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Loopy Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Loopy Tortilla, he's pretty good.
Make a splash. Live the dream. It all happens at the Houston Automotive Show at NRG Center. Check out classic autos to today's cars and trucks. Experience off-road adventures with Polaris, Ram, and Camp Jeep. Explore 5 acres of the newest sport boats, fishing boats, and much more. It's all here, from the open road to the open water. If it thrills you, you'll find fun for the whole family. Get your tickets now. The Houston Automotive Show, making waves and fueling adventure.
We're doing our broadcast next week if we can get all the buttons pushed and have Don Armstrong have all of his brain cells firing off at the correct time.
No, we might be late then.
Well, we definitely will be late. Thank God David's going to be there to get these old people with their teens at the in-wheel time booth.
He'll be all showered up by then.
I'm sure he will be nice and clean. Yes, with his lotion.
Oh boy.
All right. Hey. We want to get to Jeff's car culture.
Okay.
The 5 longest tunnels in the United States of America.
Yep.
Do I really want to know
Well,
this?
when you're outside the longest tunnel in the U.S., you can't help but wonder, how did they build it? Or, what did it cost? How many people? Is it really an engineering marvel? Well, yes to all of that. Some of the stuff, you got to be a real good engineer to figure all that stuff out. So here we go, Michael. The Lincoln Tunnel is another tunnel under the famed Hudson River. It connects New Jersey, forget about it, to New York. It's a massive 1.5 miles in length. It's the 3rd largest traffic tunnel in that area. It's created off of the Route 495, and this is one of New York's most iconic traffic destinations. So what really makes the Lincoln Tunnel unique is the 3 separate tunnels that are involved. One was built in 1937, one was built in 1945, and the last one was built in 1957.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Lincoln Tunnel averages over 100,000 vehicles daily, and it's one of the most driven tunnels in the U.S. So the next one we have is the Ted Williams Tunnel, and it's a renowned tunnel located in the famed city of Boston, with a length of 1.6 miles. It's one of the longest tunnels in the United States, established in 1995. So when you're there and you're in the car park or all that stuff, you got to take the tunnel. Established in 1995, Ted Williams extension of I-90, which is the longest interstate highway in the country. The tunnel is owned by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and consists of 6 lanes. The tunnel has speed limit of 40 miles an hour, and it's a toll tunnel, and you can pay anywhere from 20 cents to $2 depending on where you live. So,
What?
Yeah, I guess the different accesses to different neighborhoods, they have to pay certain things to get on the road or get in the tunnel. So that's what they're all about. The next one, Mike, is situated under the Hudson River and is called the Holland Tunnel. This is the 2nd longest tunnel in New York City, and it connects New York to New Jersey. Again, if you miss it, forget about it. The tunnel is a 4-lane tunnel. It carries traffic from both I-78 to I-39, and it's about 1.62 miles in length. Clearly, it's the longest tunnel in the U.S., and the Holland Tunnel was first opened in 1927, making it the oldest road tunnel in the history of the country. And this one's pretty unique. Don, you may know this one, or you've probably been on it. It's in the Colorado Rockies. It's the Eisenhower Tunnel. It's 60 miles east of Denver on Interstate 70, and that's where the tunnel's at, and the highest tunnel in the world with an average of 11,112 feet. So it's up there. It's up high in the mountains. It runs through terrain, and the average annual snowfall from that terrain from November to April is 26 feet. So you've got a lot of snow around you, a lot of mountains. 2 tunnels measuring just a hair under 10,500 feet each direction, and it was finished in 1973. It spans 2 watersheds and the Continental Divide. The federal government purchased it a long time ago, and they paid 90% of the cost, and the city or the state picked up the 10%. Average is about 30,000 to 50,000 vehicles, so it's a lot, and it's pretty high up there. So if you get anything to do with altitude or tunnels, we can do it. Baltimore Harbor, Michael. This one is prior to the Baltimore Harbor. It's being built and placed in the list of the longest tunnels in the U.S. Baltimore's narrow streets were the only direct roads between the city, the south side of Baltimore, and Philadelphia. So this was built in 1940, and it was because of the terrible roads and everything. That's just pretty crazy right there. Construction, the tunnel began in 1955, and by that time it was pretty well built and over budget. It has 21 twin tube sections, about as long as a football field. So if you're into taking those tunnels, good luck. That's all I got to say.
You don't have to worry about me taking those tunnels.
Now, there's a tunnel from Detroit to Windsor, and that's a little under a mile.
Well, we've got one here called the Washburn Tunnel that goes underneath the Houston Ship Channel, and I just assumed I'd go on that either.
Oh, yeah. They leak.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but, I'm not real comfortable with that.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Mars has our biggest car museums, Mr. Mars. I guess he
I
doesn't.
can't hear you, Mike.
No, we can't hear him. Is he even on with us?
Hello.
We can't hear you, Mike.
Yeah, okay. My bad.
Okay.
I was communicating with David. Sorry.
All right, so it's time now for, as I mentioned, your biggest car museums.
Yeah, I just thought that with all this weather impacting the whole country, some people
Let's
might be
go
looking for some-
somewhere.
We have to do it.
Yeah, get out, get about. So the Gilmore Car Museum in Hickory Corners, Michigan. Now, this is one of the largest museums in North America. It's set on a 90-acre campus. It's got over 400 vehicles that run from the brass era cars up through the classic American iron and even into post-war icons. There's a lot of different buildings, and they're all got some of them dedicated to the Cadillacs, Pierce Arrow, the Model A Ford, and even some others that you can kind of walk around between them and see how the different history blends in. There's another one up in Tacoma, Washington, and I've actually been to this one. It's the LeMay, America's Car Museum. It's, again, these are one of the largest automotive museums. They've got 350 vehicles, and it's really a very modern-looking architecture, and it's all designed and drawn from the Harold LeMay's collection. Now, this is his personal collection over the years, and that's how he built this museum. They have different displays that rotate in and out, and they do a lot of educational things for people, including industry and personal freedom that shows how the American have dealt with the automotive through the years. Then you get into what probably is the most famous one, the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, California. Now, I went to this one once, and it was under construction. So I got to go into the basement, and I got to see about what's on the screen, and that's about it. But it's a big place. They have over 100 vehicles on display all the time. They specify, or they look a lot at the automotive design, engineering, and motorsports. So they kind of bring a lot of stuff in and out. Hollywood cars are very easy to get to. A lot of concept vehicles here. It's really one of the more famous museums in the country. But one of the ones that I'm most impressed with was the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation. And it really goes into a lot of things. It's really America. But the automobile sections of it, it just goes from beginning to end. I mean, and it just got everything from the Model Ts, historic race cars, presidential vehicles. I mean, there is just so much there that you just can't see it all in a day. I think Don and I were there for less than a day, and it was just amazing the amount of stuff that's in there regarding transportation and manufacturing. Then the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. Now, this is, of course, in Speedway, Indiana. It's inside the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it's all about motorsports. And it's got a collection of the Indy 500 winners. Got some legendary race cars, some pace cars, a lot of the trophies, a lot of things about the race itself. But it's also got more than that, as it considers the automotive motorsports across the country. So if you're a race car fan, this is the museum that you really want to go see. So that'd be like 5 museums across the country that you might be able to get out to if you get tired of all this rotten weather we're having.
Yep.
There's that. Okay, time now for a break. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this.
You own a car you love. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. Apple or Android, In Wheel Time podcast can be found everywhere, on the stream and through downloads. Whether you're on the road or at home and jonesing for a different kind of car talk show, give In Wheel Time a try. Honest new car reviews, fun, informative interviews with real car people, weekly automotive news, features like Jeff's Car Culture and Mike's Driving Destinations, all on In Wheel Time. Check us out on SiriusXM Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or while you're shopping on Amazon, through Amazon Music. InWheelTime.com has a list, and we know you love lists. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.